In life you see a lot of highs and lows, build you up then fall like dominoes, make you feel like you are all alone, but still I rise. Why we struggle we may never know, but the plan of God is never wrong. Hold your head up high and just be strong.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Great weather as well. It was International Homeless Day yesterday, and when I saw the advert and I saw the picture of a homeless person sleeping on the street, it truly affected me in a big way. And I kind of wondered if any of you out there was involved in doing something special for a homeless person. If you have, please do call in and let us have your thoughts. Now, every other day is a day to celebrate or bring awareness to us as the general public. And today is International Girl Child Day. And I remember way back, possibly 10 years or even longer ago, one of the big corporates, one of the big cell corporates introduced Girl Child Day, because the feeling back then was that boy children were always allowed more opportunities, obviously in third world countries. And we here in South Africa, so a similar mentality obviously is or was at play at the time. I don't think we're quite over that, where we prefer boy children over girl children, and we would rather afford the opportunity of learning for a boy child and open up all sorts of opportunities for a boy child as opposed to a girl child. So there was this huge campaign that kicked off here in South Africa, and alhamdulillah, I think it's made huge inroads. Also, during that time, world-renowned celebrity Oprah Winfrey then decided to add her voice to this campaign, and she then visited South Africa, and she set up an amazing school dedicated to the education and upliftment to girl children. And I think the good news story from that is that we've seen a whole host of graduates out of that school, the Oprah School. I think it's situated somewhere in the south of Johannesburg. I've never visited the school. I do hope and pray I can do get the opportunity to go there one of the days. But there have been some amazing young women that have come through that school. And you know what's so great about it? That these very same women or girls that were given the opportunity 10, 15 or more years ago, they are now giving back to their respective communities, and they are very involved in the grooming of other young girls and the school itself. So I think that's a brilliant example. And I'd like to see something like that happening in the Muslim community. So come on guys, put on your thinking caps and let's start making this happen. And of course you don't have to do anything big or wild or anything as far as International Girl Child Day is concerned. You could even adopt a child from one of the poorer countries. When I say adopt a child, what I mean is there's a lot of these initiatives that have been going on for years and years and years. So what you in fact do is that you pay for that child's education till she graduates. Obviously you pay for her keep as well. You would pay into a certain organization, and that would ascertain this girl child that is fed and clothed regularly, and that she gets a decent education. So there's many little initiatives that you could get involved in to make a difference in a girl child's life. So just remember, it is International Girl Child Day today. And having said that, here is another, I say it again, underline the word another. Here is another amazing organization in our very own community, and that is the Fordsburg Muslim Youth Organisation, FMYO for short, and they have just introduced a wonderful facility in our midst. To talk to us about it is Asima Moosa. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the program, and shukran for your time. Asima, are you there? Can you hear me?
Judy?
All right,
Hello?
just say, yes, I can hear you now. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me on the show, Judy.
Wonderful to have you guys. Hey, I take my hat off to you guys. Who would have thought? We do so many different things as far as community upliftment is concerned. But the fact that you people have opened this, the burial facility in Mayfair, I didn't even think about something like that. It's something further so out of your mind completely. How did this all come about, Asima?
So the Fordsburg Muslim Youth Organization was established in 1959. And we've largely been involved in the burial sector almost from inception. We are one of the custodians of the Qabristans in Gauteng, which is West Park in the UK. They're the largest Qabristans in the city. So essentially our role has been maintenance and upkeep of the Qabristans and also the actual burial. Over the years, we've built 5 facilities. This is actually our first one. We have access to all the others in the area as well. We have one in Fourways, one in Wendywood. We've got Taqwa. We've always used the CIT facility in Bree Street. Very grateful to the board members of CIT for allowing us that opportunity. But we also found that we needed a facility that was dedicated to us and that could actually be a central point for our hearses and stocking our equipment and that. And Alhamdulillah, when the trustees of the Mayfair Jummah Musjid offered us the space, we were so grateful that we could actually go and set up a facility there. One of the things COVID taught us was that we could actually fulfill the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and that we could actually make a ghusl and go straight to the Qabristan. But in that short time, the family also needs a little bit of space to mourn, to pray a little before we leave for the Qabristan. And none of our facilities had this. So when we were planning Mayfair Jummah Musjid, this is a facility, we actually thought of all the things that we love to have. Everyone has also very often done mostly destitute funerals, so families that have that probably living in a little room or a small flat, and it's difficult to actually go back with the janazah and we want to pray. So when we built this facility, we built a room that accommodates the family so they could mourn a bit before going to the Qabristan, but also still then fulfilling the rights of the janazah and also fulfilling a sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by doing a ghusl and moving almost immediately to the Qabristan.
How very thoughtful, because that obviously is a big gap. Like you say, COVID has taught us a lot. And a lot of families who've lost a loved one through COVID, it was very difficult for them not to be able to mourn or to see their dearly departed and just say a little prayer for them, or along those lines. So it was difficult as far as closure issues were concerned. So I like the fact that there's a room dedicated for family to congregate and say a little prayer, make a little khatam or whatever it is before the janazah is then taken to the Qabristan.
Absolutely, Julie. If you remember towards the beginning of COVID, it must have been the hardest time for a family to lose a loved one. I still recall right at the outset where families weren't even seeing their family. They'd go into a hospital You'd get a phone call to say that they've passed away. A burial committee would go and collect. You weren't even allowed into assisting with the ghusl, so you wouldn't even see your family member. The last time you'd see him was literally him or her when they went into hospital. And 6 or 7 weeks had passed. You get a phone call to say they passed away, and that's it. It was very, very difficult. And because of all of these learning curves that we went through as a burial committee, we realized that we had to fulfill rights. You need closure. As a family, losing your parent, your child, your sibling, you need some element of closure. And this facility will provide that for families. Alhamdulillah, we have an excellent team. Uncle Amin Minty is our chairman of FMYO. And, you know, the kind of work that he does is unsurpassed in this industry. Muhammad Lehe is Amir for burials. He is the son of the late Musa Lehe. And, you know, so they have a history in this, in burials and dealing with families. And the element of empathy that you find in these gentlemen is unsurpassed, in my opinion.
Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts. And in terms of further support from the communities, you know, local and spread out all around, what is it that, you know, FMYO would like, what type of support would you like to see coming forth?
Well, you know, maintaining the Qabristans, we actually pay rent to the Joburg City Park for these Qabristans. And we'd like families to actually consider, you know, maybe filling out a debit order form if you've got a family member that's there, and consider just making, even if it's 100 Rand donation a month. But, you know, to set something up that's consistent so that maintaining of the Qabristans is not that difficult. Recently, we redid all the piping and neatened up all the covers, fixed the walls. All of these things cost money, and we're always going to our donor pool to get that. You know, I just think to my dad, he's buried in Natal, and every month I make a contribution towards that Qabristan for the upkeep, because there are people that work there, that clean the covers, that water the covers on a day-to-day basis, just to ensure that it's in a neat and acceptable condition. And all of these expenses are not small, you know. So for us, the best gift you can give is to donate to the cemetery account. And all of our books are open for anyone to have a look at it any time. Even during the hardest times of COVID, we had to buy a TLB because we were digging something close to like 30 and 40 graves in one day. At our peak in the third wave, I think we reached about 30 janazas at West Park just on one day. And it's just not physically possible for people to go and dig out that cover. So we had to buy a TLB. And that's a massive piece of equipment. So the best support that we can is just continuous donation into the cemetery account. We've actually put up boards in the Qabristan, and we're putting up scan codes soon so that it makes it easier for people to donate. If you don't visit a loved one, you can just scan the code and make a donation to the cemetery account.
Inshallah. You know, really talking with you this morning, Asima, is very sobering indeed. It's something, you know, we don't think about death. We don't like to think about it. And we don't think that we're going to die, somebody else is going to have to manage our ghusl, our burial, etc. And we're going to land up in either, you know, one of the cemeteries that you referred to. And our loved ones are there as well, and we need to be doing our bit. So it's been very sobering talking to you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts. And you are right. I think it is incumbent on all of us to make sure that we make however small a contribution on a monthly basis, so that the workers at the Qabristans get paid, and that you guys at all the different burial societies are able to upkeep and maintain the facilities to the highest of standards. Jazakallah very much for the amazing work that you guys do, and shukran for talking to us as well.
Jazakallah for having me on your show, Julie.
My pleasure. And that was Asima Moosa. She's from the Fordsburg Muslim Youth Organisation, talking about burial centre now open at the Mayfair Jummah Musjid. And truly that was so sobering, because It's not that we don't give thought to death. I think we put it out of our minds because we're so busy living. We're so busy chasing after the material things in life that we think we're not going to die. You know, Allah is the best of planners. He is the giver of birth and the taker of life. That is prescribed by Him and Him alone. But our egos and the bling and the glitter of this worldly life make us forget that we are going to eventually meet our Maker, and this is the same route you and I and each and every one of us are going to be following. So let's give that a thought for today. The time is exactly 9:03, and of course we're a little late with the news, but let's catch up with them as quickly as we can.